Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to a new video in the Diwani scripts. In today's video we are going to look into the following letters. Letter Ha with several shapes of it, singular, beginning of a word and middle of the word. Now we're in the middle, it comes with several shapes. We will have a look at them, two shapes. Also we will talk about how it looks like in the end of a word. Also again it has three shapes. This one, the famous one, we use with Jalal Allah, and finally a one that looks like Masakh. Then we are going to move on the letter Noon. We will take two noons. In the middle of a word they look, or the beginning, when it connects it looks just like the Ba, but in the by itself it looks different. We will also have a look at the letter Ya. Now let's start with the Ha. Singular Ha is very easy and simple. We just do two moves. One comes this way and the other one comes the other way around. With regard to the scale, you could use 2 points for that. Now here we first start with the upper move, then we do the lower one. Now when writing a Ha, try and look at the inside curvature. So you draw a line which is a bit inclined, then you do the first move, then the second one. You could make it vertical, like horizontal too, but this one is prettier. When it connects, when it comes at the beginning of a word, Ha is similar to the one that we talked about in the Ruqa. So we all know this, the first part of the Alif. Now Ha is basically combining this part with the first move like this. So when we go up then down, gives us the shape of sort of the upper edge of an ellipse. So we go up, then we curve down. Then we connect a middle Fa to it. We simply just add a middle Fa here. Note again that this contains the Fa inside, and there's a good 1 point gap between this and that. Here it will be around 3 points, as we can see, and the width would be 2 points. So this is for the starting Ha. When the Ha comes in the middle, we have two shapes. The first one is basically, so this is the connection. We go down in this way until the pen sort of becomes sharp. Now the angle we hold with is almost 85 degrees. It's not vertical, it's a bit to the right. The same thing with this move. Then we lift the pen up and we start from here. We go up, as you can see, just like this. Then we lift up the pen and come back from here to continue. So for example, Laha, you've got the Lam, connects to a Ha, then continues to an Alif. Laha. Muhim, as we can see. With regards to the Meme, we also have another shape to it. We forgot to talk about it last time. So you've got Meme, Ha, and we have this shape of the Meme. we basically go to the right, then go back with a thin line, then finish it like we do with A. So this, if you saw this, it's a meme at the end of a word, in Diwani that is, because we've got this shape and then we got this shape. Another shape for the middle ha, which is stopping here, going to the right, then giving slight, this is not full thickness as you can see here. This is full thickness, this is sort of, you lift the pen while writing it, then you stop. So the first move was going back, which is this one. The second move is going to the left. Now the third one is basically doing the one we did here for this one, the first move. So we go up, then we finish, just like this. And this is the hat in the middle for another shape for it. Now at the end, we've got the first shape, which is moving up, then going to the slightly to the left. So here, what you have to do is keep an eye on this. You touch the baseline, for example. Now you go up, you're curving this way. Then midpoint, you change the curve to the other way around, like this. So you go right, then you go left. Finally, you lift up the pen and you use the tip of the pen to draw this shape. It has to be rounded properly. Now it's not this thick, it's thin, but it's rounded, just like this. The second, now the height would be again in the vicinity of 3 points, and it is inclined to the left. You could always use guidelines to see that it is inclining to the left. The second shape we are going to talk about is this one. So you are ending, you go up, you stop, you measure 2 points down here, you go down, but when you go down you curve this way. Once you reach this point, which is the same or a bit lower, once you reach this point again you choose 2 points from the top here and you curve the other way around like this. So the first curve is this way, the second curve is the other way around. Again, up, down, then the other way around, and stop. And just double check that these are 2 points and these are 2 points. Finally, we have the third shape that we end out with. This shape goes straight up, just like an Aleph. Then we go down like this. You see the small curve here and here. Then we simply go back like this. It is very neat. Look at the gap inside. Now the gap inside tells us a lot of things. For example, it tells us that we have this shape in the beginning. You see how it breaks? Then it stops, then it suddenly goes back with a nice curve. Of course, this is where it starts. And here we have the other shape, the filler down here, that touches, it simply touches the letter from the upper side. This way, when you look at the white or the space, you'll be able to analyze the letter better. This was with regards to the ha. Now we will look at the noon. We've got 2 shapes for it. We start with the first one. We draw a dot, then we take a curve up above that dot, then another curve going down that dot, just like this. Here we leave a gap of half a point, as we can see. The second shape is the same shape, but instead of having the dot in, we raise the dots up to here. As you can see, it's like a swan. Again, the first shape would be to do basically a circle with a dot in it. The second shape would be to take the dot and just go all the way up to here. Now when we connect the noon at the end, it is this move, as we saw before. Then you either finish it here or you go all the way up to here, the same as this one. You might see noons that are really big like the ba, but those are most abundant in the Turkish style, not in the Arabian style. We will not talk about them here, we will talk about them in the other style, inshallah. Again, with the scale, if you were to see this part, it would be 3 points like the one we talked about for the this one, for the alif. The same thing with all the other noons. You just put 3 points and it gives you the guideline. The upper one, for example, would be of course smaller because it doesn't go all the way to the end. Finally, we are going to talk about the ya. The ya is very simple. The first move would be to do like a ba move, this ba that connects. The second move would be to add a curvature, this one and this one. That sort of ends up slightly similar to the upper move. Finally, you would add the noon move and do another curve here. So we do the first one, second one, and the third one. When you draw a letter, keep an eye on the move itself. So when I start here, I only think of how the shape is looking here, the amount of curvature I've added here, then I say I need to rotate it around. You think of this move, don't think of this one. Once I've finished this one, I start thinking about the next one. I know that I need to add a curvature here, then another one here. I don't think of the next move, I just think of this one. Finally, I think of this one that I know that I need to be inclined and to have the same area here and here. This way you will be able to produce good letters by dividing the moves. You don't think of the whole letter, you just think of the move that you are working at. Finally, you've got this optional move. Now with regards to this body, when you have a ya, an alif for example, let's say a noon, seen. Sometimes this curvature sort of changes shape. It is natural because you should produce it exactly the same, but if it was very hard for you to do so, don't be frustrated. When the ya connects, it's just like a ba or a ta or a tha. It's normal. It can come in this shape or this shape, for example with the ha. Could come with this shape. So we've got all the shapes, for example ya, Rabb. The dots for the ya, of course, are just a line. When it comes at the end, when you connect it at the end, you basically take the second move. So for example, ila awliya, lam, the connection, then you add the ya. You see, we took this second part with the sort of connection with the lam. Now, if it was, for example, bayt, we see how this changes into this and connects to the ya. Shay, for example. Again, it changes into this shape. Now, to do a quick recap on what we've seen today, we've spoke about the letters ha, nun, ya. For the letter ha, we saw it singular, as we can see here, and we talked about the angles that it could work with. We also saw it at the beginning of a word, what parts it has in it, and we saw it in the middle with two shapes. Again with this meme, let's do it again. We basically go down to the right, then go down with a thin line, as we can see here. Then we go back up, just like a ayn or a ha. And it comes connected. For example, some. And we spoke about this hat. Be careful that for this hat we have the second move, which is not full thickness, it's half the thickness. You see how we rotate the pen so that it becomes thinner. When we take the Farsi, we will see similar shapes in that script. Then we moved on to the end nun, end ha. We spoke about this shape and this shape that comes in Lafz al-Jalala, Allah, and we spoke about this shape with these notes that we need to keep in mind. Then the nun, which we wrote a lot of times before. Finally we did the ya. For our homework, we are going to write Inna al-insana la yatgha. Inna al-insan. Now this will prepare you for the lam alif we are going to talk about next time. Here we have the alif. Al-insan, lam, that looks just like an alif. Then we go up for the alif. Then we go back. Then we go out. This is how you write the lam alif. Finally we come over here to write the lam. Nun sin, we could use this one. Connect this scene to it. We add inna. This nun needs to be open, the lower part of it. It shouldn't touch the dots, so be careful. La yatgha. Lam ya. Then we have a ta. We could use the connected one like this one to bring it up, and then we have a ghin. Finally we have a ya. We have this ya, you could use this. Or use the normal one, because it's an alif maqsoora. Alif maqsoora comes this shape. La yatgha. We could write مهمة واضحة ميم ها ميم تاء مربوطة. The dots are as usual, 2 dots like this. واضحة, you've got واو. ألف. ضاد. حاء. and تاء مربوطة. There you go. You've got 2 sentences to practice. لا يطغى, use this, use the ghain, then use this shape, the normal one, because it's an alif maqsoor. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one. This has been Amar Awadi and Assalamu alaikum.